What's happening, everybody? The Job Guys back with you one more time. Nitro, Nick is here. Ryan is here. Thank you for being here to talk about, I believe this is the third edition, right, Nick, of the brand new Saturday night's main event. They are getting it done on Labor Day weekend, which was kind of a tradition in the past with Saturday night's main event. And they're going back to one of the original locations. I can't remember if it was the third or fourth, whatever it was, the old Sundome in Tampa, Florida. Now the Yinling Center down there. So they go back there for a big event. We had a world title match on the card, John Cena fighting on the card, and a couple of other big-time matches as well. Before we get in and break it all down, Nick, as always, can you wrap up the night for me? However you want to do it, A through F, 1 through 10, 5-star. What do you got for a letter grade for this evening?
I think if people liked matches and match quality, I think they probably were happy. I don't know. What are they saying would be what I would ask you in a second. But yeah, I don't think... And they gave you a couple surprises, I guess, if you will, that we can talk about. Can't say I was really... I mean, I didn't hate it, but, just, Ryan, I'm still just... I guess I got bloodline hangover, Ryan. You know, that story was just so good.
Yeah.
And I was so invested. Again, this isn't bad. It's not the worst. It certainly wasn't pre-COVID WWE. It's much better than that.
Right.
But, I'm just kind of, it was a decent show. I'm glad I watched it. I don't know what you would give it much more than, like I said, it's definitely over 5, a 6 or something.
As far as the matches go, I think people are not really happy with the matches, and because
the result or the work rate.
Well, the results what matters, and
that's
the finish,
okay, that's it. Yeah.
The finishes of matches or lack thereof finishes in matches, I think, is starting to bother some people a little bit. But we did expect surprises on this show. What kind of surprises, though, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure the surprises lived up to what maybe people thought they could be. We will get into it right away. We will start at the very beginning because I want to get your thoughts on the very beginning. And then we will just go straight on through the card and work our way till that the interference there in the main event at the end of the night. Right out of the gate, they begin the same way they have with the other SNMEs the last couple of times. They have the old school intro going into the new school one. Then they come out to the announce desk, and there we have Joe Test sitting there with Jesse Ventura once again. We'll get into, his commentary later because he did commentate one match on this show, the steel cage match. But your thoughts on the entrance and, again, Jesse being there to start the show.
Well, how does it do it to me every time? That you hear the music, they show the rewind of the old times. So, yeah, I was really pumped to start it. And then you see Jesse, and, if I was ever a mark for anybody, it's him in his commentating years for the WWE. I'll die on a mountain that he's the greatest of that era. But we can talk more about him, today. So, but yeah, I was excited. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I was just excited. Yeah. I thought the beginning was really good, right? I like it. I don't know it just doesn't feel like once the show gets going, it's a pay-per-view. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel like Saturday night's main event to me, like the way it did. Maybe it's even the length of it. It's long.
What I thought was interesting was Jesse immediately, and it played out later, but immediately he started talking about the cage match and how he doesn't know why Drew took a cage match. And they're like, I don't want to see anybody walk out of the cage. Keep it in the cage. And then that played out later. But I thought that was interesting because that's walking out of the cage is a heel thing to do. And he's the heel announcer. And like, why would he not like that? Then you start thinking, you're like, maybe the good guy is going to win by walking out of the cage. So my wheels were already turning a little bit on that. A lot of talk about Jesse and what he was wearing online and everything, because I think a lot, especially new fans, because they have no idea about old
No.
wrestling from the 90s and 80s, let alone fashion from the 90s and 80s. Jesse's wearing one of his snakeskin leather coats or whatever with a Malcolm X hat. Now, Nick, as you know, 1990, 91, 92, that was like the hottest hat in town, dude. Like everybody had one, everybody wanted one. And Jesse did wear the entire outfit, the exact same thing, jacket and hat on WCW back in 1992 when he was there. Literally the same outfit. So there was a lot of talk about that. Like, who's this old guy with a Malcolm X hat? Buddy, he had it back then. So there you go. Let's get into the matches. Once again, kind of interesting. You don't know which match they're going to start with, and they start with the tag match. It's Punk and Sammy taking on Braun Breaker and Seth, who are with Paul Heyman. Didn't really know what was going to come of this. I figured there'd be some kind of wonky finish. Did not see this finish coming, though.
No, I did not.
All of a sudden, CM Punk is speared through the guardrail, as we see happen all the time. But it's Bronson Reed back from his foot injury. He's good to go. I knew he was about due to come back, but I didn't even think about him at all. And so then he helps them win the match and all this. Your thoughts, because it's interesting, and I'm surprised they mentioned it. Bronson Reed murdered Seth Rollins before he got hurt with like tsunami after tsunami after tsunami after. Why, which they better explain, is he with them?
I don't know.
I thought the match was really good. I enjoyed it. I thought the right team won. It's funny. These guys aren't getting totally booed, though. Seth and Breaker, they've got a fan following out there, and maybe a little Heyman too. So it's kind of, I don't want to say to the nWo extent is, that heel kind of cheer with the audience, but they do have something there. I like it, Ryan. I don't know. Seth Rollins has seemed to have insulated himself with two monster dudes, two guys that can just smoke you. As for why he did it, I don't know that we're going to be happy. Maybe we'll get an explanation, but they do this all the time. I mean, Savage and Steamboat are on the same team.
That's one night, though. They're not like in a group together, though.
The Giant was, the NWO, in and out.
Well, they
of there.
paid him. We know right. The answer to that, too.
So, you'll probably get something, but I don't know that you'll maybe like it. I do like this little faction, though. I didn't like it just as two. I thought that it could use 3 or 4. So I'm hoping that it puts on some good television and helps Bronson Reed. Because although they had him, I think he got to a point where this is going to be good to align him and get a little Seth rub. I thought he's maybe got to a point where maybe he kind of capped where he was at. So.
Well, he definitely needs some kind of rub, that's for sure. Yeah. Because, he obviously did a great job in his feud with Braun Strowman, and he looked like a monster and everything. And then he started smoking Seth, and he looked strong and everything. And then he got hurt, so we never really got to see where it was going. I think it's good for him. I will say, and I am not impressed by this group whatsoever yet.
Really?
I don't think it's good at all. I don't think it's good at all.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's been amazing.
Is Braun Breaker spoken yet?
No.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, he needs,
and Seth is still with the sing-along music, and
I love Seth. I just love Seth.
But dude, you're a heel, and
I know, that's why I said they do get a lot of cheers and pops when and people like Breakers. So I don't know, man.
He's obviously acting a little different. He had that promo with Sammy, I think it was Monday, and he was coming off sinister and everything, which is good. But I need more of that, man. I need, he can't keep, he's got to be more sinister. And Bronson, hopefully there's something more there. Hopefully, and we'll hopefully see that. But because this is not working for me, brother. It's not awful, but it's just kind of there, man. And again, Braun Breaker, he hasn't said anything.
The man's tongue didn't come through customs.
Yeah,
But I agree, the
yeah.
right team won, and they did need a third dude. They needed a third dude.
Something looks, but I hope you're right. We do need to hear from Breaker, and I do think after watching Bronson Reed, maybe a little hanging out with Heyman as far as promo work and stuff is not going to have a negative impact on him, more than likely. So I do have I have decent hopes for this group. Again, do I think this is the new mega power bloodline?
Right.
No, I don't. But it's I don't think it's turn away television either. So I hope it gets better and grows.
Next match is women's U.S. title match. Chelsea Green gets a rematch. She lost to Zelina like a month ago. Zelina, I figured she'd win this because she took the pin the night before on SmackDown in the triple threat qualifier match. So I figured she would probably win this. She does Code Red off the top, which was pretty sweet, and straight 1, 2, 3. She pins her.
Sweet finish.
Your thoughts? Anything at all? There wasn't much to it,
I think
but
Chelsea broke her nose.
yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, she got smoked in the face.
Yeah, but Ryan, let me ask you something. Do they not? Do you think the WWE sees either a cap or I should say a ceiling with Green? Like, it just seems like they didn't push her soon enough. Then they do push her and they put the belt on her, and she has a I'll say lackluster run with that belt to be kind. And then they take it right off her, and now she's obviously got her rematch. They're not putting it back on her right now.
I don't know that she needs it. I mean, she changed her whole gimmick to
Right, that's
something about
to
US and
the
everything,
belt. But
I think
she gets a bigger
she
reaction
loses all
than
the
most
time.
girls.
I mean, she's over as heck.
Yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily bad that she's losing because she is over and she gets as much, if not more, mic time than anybody else. She's at least
true.
one skit in the back with her girls, at least one every week. You always see her entrance, you always see everything, unlike other girls. So
I mean, these two, even the two she's with, have never been more relevant to me than with her as
well, I
Secret
still don't know the
Service.
other girl's name, but
It
yeah.
doesn't matter. The Secret Service, I mean, it works. She's got two, just, and one's kind of muscle and maybe the other's a little more athletic type deal. So, and because they're aligned with her, they're getting a rub. What's it called? The Her Service or something like that. I can't remember what they keep calling
Her,
it.
what is Secret Service and it's Secret
No,
Hervis.
Hervis. Yeah.
Hervis, yeah.
So that's great, man. I don't know. I just really like this gimmick. I thought they didn't do well with putting the title on her,
The
and they think
problem
they
is
took it off too soon.
there's nobody. This belt is the problem.
Yeah, I
And they've
agree.
just brought in more girls that are going toward the main event. So Chelsea's going to stay mid card. But who does she have to fight? I mean, they tried pushing Meechin up to her level. Now they're trying to push. Zelina's like never won a match in her life. Now they're trying to push her up to the level, but people have seen her lose for 3 years, so they're not buying it. There's nobody at that mid card level, you know. And on
Zelina's
the
got
other channel, they're doing, hey, we got to have Becky fight Bird Girl because there's no mid card girls that are legitimate there either.
Did you notice that Zelina's so great on the mic, I think. I really think she can speak well.
Yes.
Did you see though when she stood toe to toe with Green how
Oh, well, she's
small?
the smallest girl in the
I
company
mean,
by
it's
far. But
just that
yeah.
I mean that's the holdback, I think. It just is really hard, you
Well,
know.
yeah, and Chelsea's like dang near 6 feet tall. I think the only girl taller than her is Charlotte.
Right.
Yeah, and Chelsea's not like skinny as Charlotte. I mean, she's obviously skinny, but like Charlotte's like a rail thin, so
Right.
she's got a little more thickness to her.
Yeah.
And so she looks like Andre, next to me.
Yeah, no kidding. But
Yeah, Zelina's like
I just
maybe
thought
5 feet tall.
I just thought your opinion, because I really do like Green. I think she's one of the top women in all of women's wrestling right now.
As far as charisma goes, she's
Yeah,
at
that's
the
what
top.
matters to me. Charisma, mic work. And again, is she that far from the best? No, she's not Io Sky or Charlotte Flair, but I don't think
Right.
she's the worst. But she's not a crutch out there.
But yeah, well, then
Takes
you
some
flip it
bumps like
around.
crazy.
If you think, dude, she's a lot closer in work rate to them than
That
they
they
are
are Mike and
talking to
charisma
her.
to her. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. If
That's
they're
true.
tens in the ring, okay, let's say she's a five. Okay. Well, if
She ain't a
she's a 10
five.
on the mic, they aren't fives on the
No,
mic.
that's
No,
true.
not at all. You even
And
that
she's
out,
not
she's
just
on
five would
top.
be at. She takes some wicked bumps too, man. We've
Oh, we've
seen
seen
her.
it. Yeah. Well, go watch, dude. Again, go watch her against Penta in Lucha Underground. I mean, he's beating the junk out of her, dude. Okay. So here we go. One of the big matches, and it is John Cena. He's back. He's on network television. He's fighting the guy that grew up loving him, R-Truth. Truth's been saying, hey, man, I still think there's good in you. This is like, Anakin Skywalker. I sense good in him. There's still good in him. And whatever Truth thinks he's going to be able to get it out of him,
Good luck.
not so much. Truth comes out to Cena's music. He's got Cena's gear on. It was like, this is like watching Mr. Wonderful backwards, though, because he was the heel ripping off Hogan's music back in the day. And now it's the good guy doing it. But anyway,
That's true.
it was funny to start it. Truth goes to do Cena's pose, and Cena just trucks him. That's pretty good.
I thought the match was good
Yeah.
for what we got.
Yeah, and I didn't expect this to, be Savage Steamboat for sure.
No.
Cena has the belt, though. As he's won all of his matches, he's going to hit it, and he's thinking, oh, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? He pretends he's conflicted, hands the belt to the ref, nut shot, as we've seen him do before. Boom, done. He beats him. I didn't think it was bad, and it was quick. You didn't have to sit through some.
That's what I was
going
to say. Did they do that finish to show everybody that although it took forever at WrestleMania, we can actually do this finish at a decent speed and rate?
They did this whole match quicker than the finish at WrestleMania.
I know. Oh my God, this finish actually worked. It would have worked for me in the final, like at the end of WrestleMania.
I would have bought that.
This would have been the conflict. I like this match. Again, we didn't think R-Truth was going to win. I like the way it went down. However,
they said it was a non-title match, Nick, just to make you think, well, maybe he's got a chance. Yeah,
I think, and that's a better way to do it too, because you knew they weren't putting the strap on this guy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Ryan, the only problem is I think this John Cena turn is like a slow, like it's just not, it needs something, Ryan. It's just not picking up heavy juice. You've got the people that don't believe it. And I know
he hasn't given you reason to believe it.
Right. And I know when people are going to say that, well, it's not real. That's not what we're saying. He's not giving you a reason to really hate him. Other than, we've been mean. Okay.
Yeah. You've told us a few times.
Yeah. So I hope, again, we keep saying this on every show. We hope something else happens that we can really draw some heat for this guy. Not just I'll still say it's better than him playing the hits. Like, I'd rather watch this than the other way. I don't think it's the worst. Again, I don't think this is a total failure.
Well, at least this could be something else where we know if he's the good guy, we know what that's going to be. We're in the back now. Cena runs into Jay, who's getting ready and doing whatever, and he's like, how you doing, Jay Uso, the champ? And he says, losing to a YouTuber would ruin wrestling, which is kind of strange that he said that, because he then caused him not to lose. I figured they were going to disqualify him at the end of that. He pulled out the ref. Why is he not disqualified?
Right.
Anyway, but whatever. Losing to a YouTuber would ruin wrestling. So a little tease, but I was sitting there going, nah. Are they going to combine the belts again? Is this going to be a SummerSlam? What are we doing? I'm like, what's going on here?
Where I was hoping.
This is weird, huh? But then I'm like, they're not going to do that. Whatever. All right, another big one. You assume the blow off of this feud. It is Drew McIntyre taking on Damian Priest. They are in a steel cage, and we have Jesse the Body on the mic. Nick, go ahead. Tell us about Jesse and tell us about the match, what you liked, what you didn't. I know you didn't like the finish. I don't even need to talk to you to know you didn't like the finish,
No,
but go ahead.
I did not like the finish. I dude, I didn't even like the first freaking the this was the thing that Drew McIntyre stat in the bottom was like completely wrong. It said like this is or like there was like a cage. This is like the first cage match since the Orndorff one. And then they showed the Boss Man one later. Yeah, and even Cole said and he mentions it. Um, I don't know, man. Ryan, Damian Priest is not for me. I don't know
Me
what
either.
it is about him. I'm mad that and again they murdered Drew.
Well, that's what. Yeah, get to that because I know
I
you're mad. But
yeah, dude,
now the rumor is he's gone. He's leaving for a while, and so that's why he lost. But
okay,
whatever, go ahead.
that's fine.
He
If
can
they're
also
good,
leave for a while after winning. Yeah.
okay, no, but if they do this, then let's see this and be done with this if he doesn't do this because Damian Priest has been pushed to the moon umpteen freaking times since he went undefeated forever with the United States title. You know, when he first came in. I love Drew McIntyre. I feel like McIntyre is one of the best wrestlers overall in the world today. And I know he's a heel, and we always say heels have to win. I mean,
Lose.
lose, but they don't have to lose all the time, every feud, and get murdered. Murdered by, to me, he got murdered in the second Punk match. He definitely got beat pretty good in the Hell in the Cell match with Punk and he got destroyed here at the end of it to the point the guy walks out of the cage, hesitates, looks back at him, kind of almost shades of what we talked about, shrugs it off, and then steps off the stairs. I didn't like it, Ryan. The face walks out of the cage like that too, and then looks back like I should go do more. Even Jesse called him out and was like saying that, yeah, he should maybe have the limo driver come pick him up. Jesse buried the finish. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I heard it.
Um, he
I think Jesse buried himself.
he did.
No,
He sounded awful, Ryan.
well, that made no sense either. Like it made perfect sense why he did what he did. He is a good guy, but you know what?
I don't
I
like.
don't need to do anymore. I'm going to insult you by not going over the top. I'm going to insult you by walking out. You know, in their blood feud, it makes sense for Priest to
I
do that.
guess
And then Jesse just buried that finish. Like
not for
it,
me.
Bruno friggin' San Martino used to walk out of cages all the time.
Uh,
Like it, I thought Jesse sounded like an idiot. I
He did all night.
yeah,
He messed up a lot of stuff. It just and it felt almost too like some of it was scripted. Like he was told lines to say a little bit. But I
well, he
also think
can't get off anything. Whenever he gets on something, he
that's
can't get
people's
off
age,
of it.
honey. I think that's people's age, Ryan.
I think that's
And
him.
could be him too.
I think it's him.
But
Age
Ryan,
doesn't help.
it's
But
also different today when he doesn't know the product and it's obvious. Like he doesn't
yep.
his depth, like back in the day, he could sell Honky or Greg the Hammer or Rick the Model because he knew their accomplishments, knew them as people, knew their character, knew their persona, knew some big wins behind each of them and some big moves. And he doesn't even. I can't believe they would put a steel cage on television back in the 80s. Yeah, dude, they had like three or four. Like you're like, yeah, we watched a ton of them, man. Like not a ton of them, but a handful, or
He
at least
gets
two.
he has to put himself over constantly, and he wants you. If you go watch any of his interviews, again, going back 6 months when this started, he sits there and he says things, and he said a lot of the same lines on these interviews that he said on the show, and he sits there and he waits for you to laugh or put it over or whatever. And if you don't, he says it again and again and again, and he like, did you hear what I said? Did you hear how great it was? And I think it's like that here. It's like he forgot, dude, you're the heel announcer. Michael Cole and Pat are not going to put it over because you're the heel announcer. Like it, I don't know. It didn't help. It didn't help.
No.
But
I think you're right. It's time we might want to rethink putting him out there.
it was cool to
Uh,
see him.
it was.
I wouldn't
And
have
it was
him
cool to
cutting
kick
Matt.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would maybe, or Ryan, to be honest with you, maybe if you have like a smaller match or something, an easier match. I don't know, like maybe just the Selena Vega,
Well,
Chelsea
dude,
Green, the feuds a little bit,
if he
but
doesn't know about the main event angle, he ain't gonna know nothing
I
about that.
I guess I'm just trying. I'm
Yeah, I know,
throwing
I
things at
know.
the wall because
Or
I
leave
love
him
the
at the
guy.
desk. Leave him at the desk
Yeah,
at the
maybe just go
beginning or
back and
something.
have like, yeah, that's a great idea, Ryan. Have him comment on the abnormalities or the cheating or whatever happens in the match after the match. A little bit easier to get, what you want to say on it.
Couple more things about the match again. Like we talked about how special it was just last week on our top Saturday night's main event moments of all time. The superplex off the top, Boss Man Hogan. Was that the finish? No. But
No.
guess what? They both laid there to the point that the referee didn't know what to do because it is a steel cage match, but neither guy was moving. And they said they're both knocked out. They're both knocked out. That's how smooth that move or incredible that move was. No, here we get a superplex off the top, Claymore 1-2 kick out. Like,
I thought of you when that happened because you
thank you.
literally
Because you knew I was going to
just
say
said,
exactly.
well, no, and you literally just said it on the show we
Right.
did a couple days ago that if that happened today,
They'll
they
kick
would
out.
immediately get up and kick out. The only thing you didn't add is they would add a finishing
Then
move
hit
after and then kick out it. Like, Jesus
I
God,
know,
man.
man. I hated that. Obviously, if you watch this, you know. And
Yeah.
I wonder if they like switched gears on this match also because if you remember at Mania, remember Priest lost and he was laying there going, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I wonder if like, and people like thought maybe it was real. And I'm going, did they like switch gears here because they thought they made Priest look really bad? That
I don't
they
know.
thought they had to make him look good? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I have no idea if that's
I
real.
thought he got back pretty good with smashing Drew on the car and
Yeah.
actually almost damaging his eye from what
Yeah.
we heard. And then the choke slam or whatever you will at the last pay-per-view where Drew almost died
Yeah.
when his head hit the concrete. So I would have been happy. I'm sorry. I'm glad you told me Drew is taking time off. I did not know that.
Well, if that's
Makes
true, but that's the
I
rumor.
hope
Yeah.
you're right because that makes sense for the L. Otherwise, on God's nowhere on God's green planet should this guy beat Drew McIntyre in a feud. I'm sorry. Drew McIntyre to me is a top 5 guy on the entire
I
roster,
would
man.
say top one
I agree. I was
because
just giving
Roman's
an
not
argument.
around enough.
I
So
agree. He's
he's
not
number
there.
one to me.
Drew McIntyre is the number one for me to most want to see
Yeah.
guy on the
Yeah.
roster.
If Roman's not there, Drew's the best guy they got. All
I
right, let's
agree.
go to the main event. Jey Uso world title match against Logan Paul. We know Logan. People know this dude. He's a celebrity, whatever. I did think there was a slight possibility. And then
Maybe.
with what Cena said, I'm like, are they really going to do this? Are they going to put. So they did a great
Mhm.
job with that, making you think, hey, man,
Yes.
they could put it on NBC, on Peacock, national TV. They might do this. They don't. Cena does come out. There was a frog splash by Jay. Cena comes 1-2, pulls the ref out of the ring. Cena gets in the ring. He starts dealing on him and all that. We talked about it. Thought maybe this could happen too. It happens. Cody Rhodes is back. His music hits. He comes down. He hits the crossroads on Cena. So Cena's out of there. Logan comes in. Logan swings. He misses with the brass knucks. Spear, frog splash. It's over. Cody gets on the mic. He says, Cena, you have ruined enough. You have a partner in Logan. I've got a brother in Jay. We'll see you at Money in the Bank and they go off the air. Your thoughts on what we're going to do here at Money in the Bank and the rest of the summer? Cody is back. Is this just going to be a one-off tag match, or then we going to get Cody Cena at SummerSlam? What do you think about the way all that was done?
I heard before I forget, I heard this may turn into a six-man
Yeah,
with
that was a
Travis
rumor.
Scott. I don't know. I was really
Who
excited, Ryan,
cares?
yeah, it's true. I don't care. I was really when Cena ran in. I thought maybe he was going after Jay's title too. Because we've said this, the only way the US and IC titles would work is if there's only one world champion for each
Right,
belt.
right.
And then the other titles would work a lot better.
Well, and the
The
only way to be the last champion is if he wins Jay's belt too, which is
That
something
would
I
make
never thought
sense.
about.
That
So
would be
then I'm
so
like,
cool.
oh, what's going on
That
here?
what right there. That gets interesting now, Ryan. Like if he was going after Jay's belt for me a little bit to take them all.
Cena's belt is already two belts, though. You know,
I know, I know.
it's the WWE
Th-
and the Universal belt.
I just wish they only had one, but
Oh
they're
God,
obviously not going to do that. And this is another appearance for Cena, I guess, in a tag or six-man match. The match wasn't bad. I
yeah,
mean, Cody's back and he's definitely over. I saw that like 25 million people viewed that his
did they?
return or something like that. I hope maybe I read wrong. I mean,
Oh no,
you
I
never
could see
you
that.
never
Yeah, I've
trust
been
what you
gone
see.
all day, so
Again, that just flashed on a post, so the numbers could
a
be off.
very way. It may be more than that, to be honest.
But he is definitely over. But are we going toward Cody Cena SummerSlam?
I don't know. I mean, everybody on Earth thinks, myself included, from the get go, that that's in the fall or winter, right before he leaves. Well, Cena's finally going to lose, maybe turn back, and he's going to lose to Cody because you're like, who else? Who else could he lose to? So I would find it strange if they fight at SummerSlam and he loses again and then gets another shot at Cena in the winter.
Right.
Um, I don't know. It makes sense. You're trying to sell out the Meadowlands, you're trying to sell it out in
And
New
you got
York.
two nights
But
now, right?
yeah, so I mean it makes sense. I personally was kind of leaning that they may be going Punk there, but I don't know.
I think that would make more sense because Ryan, if they're, I hope they're not starting the Cody thing right now. We got a ways to SummerSlam, Ryan. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
we got a night of champions in there. We've got obviously Money in the Bank, which is going to be a tag match. But yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. This whole thing threw me for a loop. Like I did not see some sort of Jay Cena confrontation. I did not think about Bronson Reed. So I was really thrown for a loop. So in that regard, it's kind of cool, I guess. Problem is, Money in the Bank's a tag match. Who gives a rip? I
that's. I guess it shows you how much pull they feel the Money in the Bank matches actually have. I don't
sure.
know if it's true or not, but neither world title is going to be on the line.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because they're both in that match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that point. And then you add Cody, another one of your main dudes. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was thinking more along a Punk.
I
But
would rather do Punk. I would like to see a Punk Cena. I would do that one more time, see if they could do something.
when
Both
obviously
those guys
people would
can
be
jaw.
into it,
Yeah,
they'd be into it.
they both can jaw a little bit about, maybe fabricate a little bit about, who you think I think you are, and who you
Oh
think I
gosh.
am. That would
I
be,
mean, monster history.
yeah,
Monster. I mean, that to me, that's where the money's at for that. And then you save Cody till later. But
you got it. That's
and
it.
then maybe they'll do some sort of stipulation where Cody's like, I want my title back. He goes, all right, well, if you win this tag match, you can get it. And then Cena wins that tag match. You could easily do that. And then maybe he wins it back, at a later date. That'd be a good way to get out of that.
Yeah, it would be a great way to get out of that. And you got, yeah. And Cody, you got to work your way back up or
Right.
qualify for this title shot, and he's got to go through some other people first or something.
Quickly here, anything else about the night and where we may be going the rest of the summer?
I think it definitely pushing Rollins and his faction. I think they're going to start running Raw, and I think
Is he going after Jay at a SummerSlam? Seth?
that's got to be where we're going, right? Because I can't imagine Gunther's getting this title right back unless they're throwing in the towel on Jay.
I
And
wouldn't think, because
I
then
wouldn't
that
either.
like negates everything Jay did. It was a fluke. You beat him one time. You know.
Right. So, yeah, no, I would expect Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso for the title at SummerSlam, and I would expect the title to go to Seth Rollins because, like I said, I
Yeah.
think this group has potential. I think this
Well, he'd
group,
have to win, right?
yeah, he's got to
Yes.
with this. Yeah, you got to, and we'll see at that point. Jay's yeet thing with the crowd will be here for 2 more months, and we'll see where he's still at come SummerSlam. And the other one, I hope you're right. I hope it's Cena Punk SummerSlam, and I heard maybe Jay and Sammy for
Well,
the world
and that
title.
was, people thought he was maybe going to join that group, but I don't think he's joining it now. Um, I could still see them breaking up though at some point. Having some sort of, because if you read the sheets, they all think it's going to happen, but who knows?
Oh yeah, you got to get something going here. So yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, Nick, appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, thanks
Thank
for having me.
all you guys, as always, for
Thanks for
watching here with the last
listening,
half hour or
watching.
so with us. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, please tell your friends, and leave us what you think maybe the SummerSlam card might be in the comments. We'll be back with more content for you the rest of the summer. But until then, job guys out.
You smell something, it's us, because we're the stuff.